Welcome to Navy Marine Corps Stadium in Annapolis, Maryland. This morning on YouTube, it's the championship games of the Naptown Challenge Youth Lacrosse Tournament presented by Hogan Lax. Good morning and welcome to our coverage. Alongside former Michigan and Holy Cross assistant and current 3D lacrosse director Chris Herron, I'm Ralph Bednarczyk. This is the end of a long last few days in the heat and playing all over the Annapolis area for these two teams. They would love to start their summers off with a tournament championship.
Well, this is a springboard into July. A lot of these teams have played here before. These kids are coming from all over the country. They're playing on a national stage. What a great venue. They get to play in Navy Marine Corps Stadium. It's going to be a phenomenal day for youth lacrosse.
We're coming back with our game coming up, including the face-off and the starting lineups from beautiful Navy Marine Corps Stadium coming up on YouTube.
We just
Both teams at 6-0. Sweetlax Navy 64 goals scored, 21 allowed. USA West 57-29 in terms of spread. So both teams have had very comfortable wins to get to this point. And we're looking forward to this one. Sweetlax just watched their sixth graders play, lose in overtime in the game before this one. USA West in the Navy on white. They win the faceoff. And they have the opening possession. Sweetlax is in the gray on gray. We'll go through our starters. And for USA West, on the attack, William McCloskey. As inside, they start the scoring immediately. They get a goal from Hudson Ledwith, 1-0.
Ledwith early and often right there, coming right out of the box. Early opportunity, buries that high to low, even bounced just inside the goal line, hit the crossbar, comes back down. You could still count that as a bar down. That was a heck of a shot. That thing was moving.
In his superstition and tradition, Hudson Ledwith is said to eat a Snickers bar before every game. I guess even at 9 a.m., it may work for him, and it's 1-0.
I love how they're talking here and saying the Chat GPT told him that it was a healthy meal before every game. That's hilarious.
And off the face-off, and this one is gathered and settled here for Sweetlax.
Looks like it was Maxie Rapp right there with that ground ball. Really quick hands on the click and drag. Going to his right instead of his left on that face-off win. Gets his nose dirty on the GB, and here comes Sweetlax with their first possession.
Go to the Sweetlax starters in a moment. On the attack, Samuel Matat with Charlie Kibe and Tommy Smith, the first midfield, Bert Summers, Reed Lewis, and Kellen Dugan, as this shot is stopped, able to reach for it, and really well. There is Harris McRae. USA West will look over the top. Hunter White is able to find his target for the clear, and in transition, room in time before the stick was lifted. Landon McGowan was the shooter before the pressure came from Colin Balicki to deny the look.
USA West playing with some pace here really early. Known for seeing them at the circuit event that NXT puts on in Philadelphia. They had the championships right around the national championship. They ended up playing in a consolation game for third place, ended up winning that third place game, and here they are today trying to win a Naptown Challenge.
In goal is Drew Newman from the St. Andrews School in Florida. As Hardy Packard, Coach Chris Packard's son, is tied up, and we're going to get an early man up here. USA West is able to draw it. Sweetlax heading off.
Looked like Balicki trying to be a little bit aggressive there. Thought about the over the head, then got stuck as Packard got into his chest and just gets a little bit tangled up there. And the extra man opportunity here for USA West. Let's see what they come out here with.
They're They're 22-minute running clocks. Each coach has a timeout at the youth level. And it's a 30-second push with possession, or a hold, actually, against Colin Balicki. So the man up here for USA West, already with a 1-0 lead on a Hudson Ledwith goal. Lenahan received it back. Now to his right, Marco Proietti skips there for Ledwith. A nice quick ball movement here to begin this 30-second man up. Now Proietti, and Proietti had the shot blocked. Great courage coming out there from the pole, that time in Miles Kornbaugh. And we are about to be all even as Sweetlax is able to balance up. USA West still with possession, a 1-0 lead.
Heading on the initiation. Good job getting it through X right there.
Weaving his way through. Oh, what a job to free his hands. William McCloskey, 2-0 USA West.
The face dodge and finished. Kid coming from playing in the box, and notably a very solid box player right there. Again, opportunistic dodge opportunity there. Face dodging underneath the head of the stick on the skewer defensively and capitalizing in front of the net.
McCloskey with that box skill shows it off there. Face-off win, an important one for Sweetlax, as they outlet ahead from Maxi Rapp on the face-off win.
It's like Rapp again, doing a really good job right now, controlling the X. Let's see if Sweetlax can help him out with some goals here.
All the way off the face dodge. And Sweetlax is on the board. And a long solo dodge taken by Landon Mack to get Sweetlax started.
Putting the pedal to the metal right there, getting the ball off the split right down the alley. Sweetlax doing a really good job clearing space for the ball carrier and giving Mack that opportunity to get right back underneath and still finish it with the right hand. That was a nice job.
Sweetlax 2030 under head coach Jack Callahan, who's a 2020 Bryant College graduate, where he played and was recruited by Mike Pressler, primarily as a short stick D-midi. There's a face-off win off the wing, but quickly USA West is able to smother. Pursuing was 3 in gray, Colin Balicki. And Balicki comes up with it. He's a starting defenseman with Miles Kornbaugh and Graham Albertson, with TJ Howe and Henry Hamner, who will split time at long stick midi.
You mentioned Mike Pressler before. Down in Dallas, Texas now, head coach of Highland Park.
Another drive and a take and a finish. Sweetlax with Reed Lewis, 2-2.
The pace of play right off the bat right now. Just pedal to the floor, playing in transition, run and gun. You love to see it out of these youngsters. They're still sharing the ball, but they're getting their opportunities to play with pace, and that's what you want to see early. Let's see see how long they can keep up this level of intensity.
Face-off clean win, Maxi Rapp. Over on the sideline for Sweetlax 2030, Jack Callahan has his younger brother, Logan, who's the top face-off man who finished the season this year at Johns Hopkins, who is on his sideline. And Logan is a famed Victor High School product who are known for terrific face-off guys just in the last decade, namely T.D. Erlin. That's his high school.
Yep, had the opportunity to coach a couple of really good athletes from the Victor area. Had a teammate of mine, Joe Dupre, is a Victor guy. Have a soft spot for that area. Just Andrew Russell, another notable athlete that we had at the University of Michigan, played football and lacrosse for us. It's a great lacrosse town, and no surprise there. I knew that last name was familiar.
Here's Nick Roberts Roberts drew 2, and then is able to shovel off for the goal. Camden Metot. And Sweetlax has the lead. It's 3-2.
Metot doing a good job changing planes on the shot, but also anticipating the check after he catches the feed in the middle of the net to drop his hands from his ear. Really nice, healthy take from the middle. Growing trend here offensively. You saw a little bit in the last game with Sweetlax in the 31s getting their opportunities in the middle of the field. And here they are again at the 30 age group getting their opportunities in the middle of the field offensively after some solid movement off ball.
Metot is from Coconut Creek, Florida. And Roberts was able to take it into some traffic and dish off, comes up with the assist.
Rapp still dominating the middle of the field there. I think that's his 5th win of the day. Healthy clamp, exiting out the front. Playing make it, take it a little bit right now.
USA West with McCray in goal. Lucas Gilbertson, starting defender. Leo Rocket, the long pole midi. Patrick Jerry, another close D starter. And as is 85 Henry Agee. Trying to go with the jump shot. That's a good closeout there to take it away. Landon McGowan with a subtle, nice check from behind, and the ball cleared over the top. And here's USA West with potential transition.
Quick opportunity here.
They feed to the wing, and they do cash in William McCloskey.
McCluskey, early Italian, the 2nd goal of the day. Like we mentioned, solid fundamentals in the IQ, getting the ball down the side in transition in the 5-on-4. And there's McCluskey there with that solid look towards the near side pipe this time.
McCloskey was begging for the ball to be skipped to him. They found him. And he's got 2 of the 3. We are even at 3. And so far, a well-played, rising 7th grader game. Naptown Lacrosse Challenge 2030 championship game. Both teams at 6-0 with numerous comfortable wins. Sweetlax Navy, they are the top seed. USA West getting here as the 3 seed. And procedure will be called. USA West will have it.
Looks like Rapp anticipating the whistle just a little bit. You're going to get that, too, when you're getting into a rhythm. You're winning a ton of face-offs. So no real surprise there. But, again, let's see how he responds and how he can continue to stay in that rhythm despite it going early there.
Ryder Vielich, number 1 face-off guy for USA West, and will play on the midfield. He takes the shot off the whistle, has backup, and here's Hardy Packard. Hardy's played a lot of midfield, now moved to attack just in the last day. Packard got free. Hardy Packard, coach's son. USA West leads again, 4-3.
Packard with the face dodge and getting underneath with the S. I believe drew a flag there, too. Just using, again, the advantage, his size to his advantage, rather. Just getting underneath that stick head. And, again, that over-the-head attempt gets him locked up, but he still is able to fight through it and get to the front of the net for a nice finish.
Dad Chris Packard is a Cornell graduate, 2000 class. He's been the head coach at the famed St. Ignatius High School private school program in San Francisco since 2009. Mom, a quality athlete, too, high school cross-country runner. So it's 4-3, and then the flag to follow. So we'll have a man up here for USA West, a 1-minute slash at the end on Packard.
You have Hennihan again running the point. Really smooth stick skills, conducting traffic out of this 3-3.
They back off, and they pay the price. Will Hennihan saw defenders just giving him all the room and time that he desired. 5-3, USA West.
When you're a good point guy in the 3-3, being able to throw that pump fake, you see the freezing of the defense at both times, both of those pillars up top. He just steps right in. That's a really heady play out of him, especially because they're so ready to anticipate the play out of McCloskey because he's got two already. He's already capitalized on the man up, does a really good job pump faking to him.
Anaheim Crow hops right into a look. So for the second time, USA West a 2-goal lead. This time they face off with a pole in Lucas Gilbertson. Sweetlax has the first chance ground ball, and it'll be come up on the wing from Landon McGowan. So USA West with all the momentum, a 2-goal lead, and the ball will hit 8 minutes to go in this first half.
Good job right there by Gilbertson out of USA West. That's your job as a pull. You're not trying to win the clamp. You're trying to keep it dirty and get some opportunities off the deck, and USA West capitalizes on that. Let's see how Rapp responds. You have to mix up your exits when you see a pull. You got to start looking for the back right. You got to start looking to potentially use your wings and where those guys are. If you can have guys in space to be able to get it to some of your wing guys, are usually your better guys speed-wise, a little bit more athletically. And, again, let's see how they respond with that pull and if they throw Gilbertson out there again.
Little cat-mouse game, but the ball is behind the player.
Nice ground ball right there by McCluskey.
Hardy Packard off the fake, then switches to his offhand right hand, and he'll get a backup and a reset. It feels like a critical possession here for Sweetlax defensively.
Sweetlax really pressing here offensively, too. Yep.
And a ward is called against Landon McGowan. So the ball fired ahead by Drew Newman. Overpass, however. Here on the pickup is Lucas Gilbertson. And USA West right back with possession, William McCloskey.
See if they go tempo here.
They do, and the shot is off target, Landon McGowan.
Seems to be kind of their identity at this point is to be a team that's playing fast. They want to play fast. They certainly have the horses to do it, but they got a lot of speedsters, too, offensively. McGowan, nice ground ball right there. Let's see if he can move it off the deck and look to create.
McGowan turns his defender multiple times, then draws the help, and then the ball jarred free. Good work in recovery for Sweetlax defensively. That's the pole, Henry Hamner from Houston, Texas. Very dynamic all over the field, 44 in gray. And was able to stay free, and now we could have a slash coming up. Flag is out against USA West, so a free possession for Sweetlax as Bert Summers will step in the box.
McGowan on that play defensively bit a little bit on the rocker move, but was able to get right back in front of it with Hamner there defensively.
Summers, he'll go to the jump shot, and that is short side netting for the goalie. Actually, it's the goalie 87, Zach Shivitz, that is in net.
Let's see what they come out here offensively for this extra man. Looks like they're going to come out in a 3-3. See if we get some movement to X after everybody touches it. You want to get everybody a little bit of touch, especially your first extra man opportunity. You're down by 2. You want to have patience. You want to look for the best shot possible. You don't want to force the issue. You have plenty of time with this minute penalty. You can see that patience right there. Thought about pulling the trigger, pulls it back out, looking to keep it moving.
Summers. And didn't like his angle. Good approach from Leo Rocket. So they spread the field again. Final 25 seconds. So the first man up for Sweetlax. That's off the stick of Roberts. And handling that first-time ground ball, smothering it beautifully is Gilbertson. Up ahead it goes for Hennehan. Still time left on the man down for USA West under the 10 seconds as they protect a 5-3 lead. Under 4 minutes left first half in this rising 7th grader class of 2030 12-year-old game in the Naptown Lacrosse Challenge.
You got to give credit to the IQ of that man down unit right there. In a 5-man rotation, Sweetlax was doing a really good job playing in the gaps right there. But USA West playing aggressively and knowing when to fill the crease and when to rotate. That was a really nice job in that man down.
After the ball was jarred free, and look at Newman hustle and come up with it. Drew Newman able to motor his way around a couple of would-be redefenders, and they go back to Drew Newman, who's known for his enthusiasm, playing with a ton of energy. His nickname is the Juice Box.
He kind of looks like a juice box. He's a little guy in there, the net, too. Nice outlet by him, too. That was really good poise in the clear. Sweetlax still looking to continue to attack, but now they're finally finding the short sticks here offensively, looking to have a little bit more patience. Again, there's no shot clock, so they can take their time with the sub. They can set up when they need to set up and then get the ball hot and look to initiate to get the defense moving.
Jax Van Thoff, number 8 in gray, also on for the first time. A tough take off the edge, and that's Tommy Smith that's able to come up with a goal. 1-goal game. He's the quarterback of their attack, and a tough bump and then finish.
Off-ball movement, too opportunistic on-ball movement. That's what you see right there out of Tommy Smith. Does a good job getting the ball, but receiving the pass while he's moving through it, and then reaches from his shoulder to the far pipe. Really solid up-the-hash fundamentals right there. You want to reach from your shoulder. You want to point the head of your stick to that far pipe because that defender's going to have his stick up. You don't want to go directly over the top. If you go directly over the top, you're going to run into some issues. If you can get around the defender, odds are you're also going to get around the goalie and get it to that far pipe. That was a really nice job there by Tommy.
Procedure called against Sweetlax. Tommy Smith is from Altamonte Springs, Florida. Sweetlax Navy is a team that is basically 50-50 between upstate New York Sweetlax chapter and the Florida Sweetlax chapter that come together and play in a tournament team.
You also see a lot of those, too. Some of those outlier fillers, like we mentioned, that Hemner kid defensively from a product of Houston, Texas, is a really cool area as well. Was fortunate enough to be a head coach down there at the Memorial era for a couple of seasons, and it's also really nice to see there. I bet you there's a lot of these kids, too, from USA West and different areas of the country, too, not just the West Coast.
Hennehan draws the early slide. Dimitri Lewis came over, and a good active stick there to get into the passing lane of Hudson Letwith, and that is raked forward, and that's good defensive work by Sweetlax. Terrific work by Graham Albertson. Now transitioning Miles Kornbaugh, or check that rather, Colin Balicki. Balicki was held up searching for an outlet. Balicki doing a lot of work, and now will get the bailout with the clock running down. So Balicki was hoping to get a shot before the horn, could not. But Sweetlax played a ton of defense, particularly when they trailed 5-3. They get a late goal from Tommy Smith, and it's a 5-4 USA West lead at halftime here from Navy Marine Corps Stadium in Annapolis. We're coming back in 10 minutes with the 2030 Rising 7th Graders second half. USA West 5-4 over Sweetlax from YouTube. minute-long possession. Sweetlax got a goal, and here we are very much with the game still in the balance.
And I think the reason why, ultimately, the reason why it's a one-goal game is because of Maxi Rapp. He's doing a really good job controlling the X. He's had a ton of wins. He's picking the ball up off the ground. But here comes USA West with a fast break off the faceoff.
As they push and gearing up the hands, and that's the way they started. Indeed, a goal from Ryder Vilic off the draw, and it's back to a 2-goal USA West lead.
It's like Rapp was potentially a little bit worried about going early. He went early after he faced off against the pole, so he was being a little bit more patient, or it could be the ref just mixing up the cadences. But that's a really solid opportunity there by Ryder. Pinch and pop right down the pipe.
So Vilic has certainly made the adjustment after you mentioned, Chris. First 5-6 faceoffs, Maxi Rapp had his way. Vilic, described by Coach Chris Packard, a face-off animal who never gets tired. He gets a break there. And now they'll go back to Landon McGowan here to face off. And McGowan is able to win it cleanly from Maxi Rapp. So consecutive possessions, and USA West immediately seizing momentum this game. You know, Chris, you mentioned something about playing fast. There has certainly been a tempo to this game at the 7th grade level. McCloskey keeps that tempo going. Got the feed from Hudson Ledwith, and now it's a 3-goal lead.
And that's his third of the day. And just like you were mentioning before McCluskey's third goal, the pace of play that USA West is utilizing right now is starting to put Sweetlax a little bit on their heels, especially coming out right at the start of the half with 2 solid face-off wins to maintain possession. And it's not like they're waiting and being methodical and slowing down. No, they're going to the goal, even in their subbing.
Certainly Chris Packard's message, if that was the case, has played it out. You know, oftentimes coaches at the high school level, college level, talk about we want to play fast, encouraging playing fast. How does a youth coach, Chris, how do you encourage young guys, 6th, 7th, 8th graders, with their skills still very much in development, even if they are at a high level? How do you encourage them to play fast?
I think you mentioned it right there, right? If you can preach skills and fundamentals and catching and throwing, obviously that's the most important. If you can get them catching and throwing, you're going to build that confidence. And then once you get that confidence, you're going to be able to continue to just utilize that pace of play. And especially with teams like this on the national scale, some of these teams don't have practices, but they know that these kids are good because of the skills that they possess early. So with that comes the ability to have a certain tempo, especially when some of these kids who don't or may have played with one another for the very first time, they're able to share the ball, and they're confident enough to know that even if I don't know you, I'm going to share the ball with you because I know when I throw it to you, you're going to catch it. So that opens up that window of opportunity to play with that pace.
Oh, what a good find. Off the cut, Jax Van Thoff held on to it and then fed it down low, and he was able to find his teammate Bert Summers for a quick stick and an important response for Sweetlax.
Van Thoff, again, there's no shortage of pace of play on the Sweetlax end either. So they're really good job running through the catching and throwing. Obviously, that's the most important. If you can get them catching and throwing, you're going to build that confidence. And then once you get that confidence, you're going to be able to continue to just utilize that pace of play. And especially with teams like this on the national scale, some of these teams don't have practices, but they know that these kids are good because of the skills that they possess early. So with that comes the ability to have a certain tempo, especially when some of these kids who don't or may have played with one another for the very first time, they're able to share the ball, and they're confident enough to know that even if I don't know you, I'm going to share the ball with you because I know when I throw it to you, you're going to catch it. So that opens up that window of opportunity to play with that pace.
Oh, what a good find. Off the cut, Jax Van Thoff held on to it and then fed it down low, and he was able to find his teammate Bert Summers for a quick stick and an important response for Sweetlax.
Van Thoff, again, there's no shortage of pace of play on the Sweetlax end either. So they're really good job running through the pass. And that's the most important thing that we're talking about, too. The skill development that you want to preach is making sure a lot of these kids are running with their head up. You don't see a whole lot of these kids right now running around with their head down. That's a solid back pipe look. That's a next level type look.
Then there was no face-off, so a chance to capitalize as Roberts legged it forward. In tight, and a flag comes out as Zach Shavitz trying to stand tall defensively. Flag will be out, and this will be against Henry Agee defensively for USA West. So Sweetlax able to immediately stop the momentum and start some of their own.
Looks like it was Metot right there, trying to get underneath, landed in the goal mouth, but you're going to get that push 9 times out of 10. If you can S-dodge underneath the defender, you want to cut him off. And what I mean by that is you get underneath, you want to put your back directly parallel to his chest. And if you can do that and keep in front, the defender has no choice but to either result in and maybe an attempt at the trail check to see if they can strip the ball. But 9 times out of 10, if a defender's going to stay engaged in the hips right there and extend, you're going to get that push.
30-second push against AG. And on that up, Hunter White comes up 7 in Navy with great extension and reach for a young player. And Shavitz down a man, throws a rope ahead. And here's USA West down a man, offensive-minded, as McCloskey will now put on the brakes. Final couple of seconds, and USA West kills it off, and we are all even. Butler down to the crease, and that shot goes wide of the new goalie in Christian Bame, number 91, who is in. Very good communicator. He takes over for Drew Newman, who played the first half.
Again, zero shortage of pace here with USA West.
Weaving through, Hardy Packard had his stick checked from behind last moment, but backup belongs with USA West and McCloskey.
Yep, and you get that tempo right off the end line. You get a speed dodge. You get a lot of off-ball movement on the inside, too. And, again, you have Packard utilizing that off-ball opportunity. You can see him on the inside right here being pretty active, trying to flash towards the ball and then pop behind it once they get somebody to commit to.
Marco Proietti. And looks to go off stick side, reading it well. Christian Bame able to track it. And Bame on the outlets. Sweetlax 20-30. Talking to Jack Callahan about his team. Thinking the talent is tremendous on such a young team as this shot is blocked. Backup will keep it here with Sweetlax.
You can see.
Joking with Jack Callahan how he thinks a lot of these players have a better offhand today than Jack does today of how advanced they are with their stick skills within the incredible amount of time that is devoted and has been devoted at this level. And another noteworthy point, how everybody on the sideline understands that it's important to cheer on everybody with this group. You don't often see that, but you see the buy-in. When you're part of a team like that, it stands out.
It's really special, too. And, again, we keep talking about, and you mentioned previously before when we're at the beginning of this broadcast, we were watching the Sweetlax team play with the 31 group. Unfortunately, they lost. But you have groups of kids from upstate New York, Texas, and Florida, and you're putting them together, and they're able to work together as a team. It's great stuff for the sport.
Roberts able to shake and get his hands free. Well, Nick Roberts is a bigger midfielder at this stage as a rising 7th grader. He delivers a bump, frees himself, and it's a 1-goal game.
Yep, just embracing the contact. A lot of things you want to preach to either young players or even players at a really high level. When you get engaged with a defender, you want to use that engagement to be able to separate and then see what they do afterwards. If you can get enough space to take away as a defender, you're going to do a good job. But offensively, you want to make sure you stay in that gray area, in that space, to be able to capitalize on those opportunities offensively. And that's exactly what you get with Roberts right there. Bouncing away, freeing his hands, getting back downhill, and getting his hips, more importantly, back to the cage.
Sweetlax gets the last 2 after USA West had opened up a 3-goal lead at 7-4. Vilic for USA West faces off, and Hunter White flies it off the wing to come up with it.
Good job by USA West, mixing up their wing play there. You saw Hunter White moving down post-whistle.
Vilic, McCloskey open, and this time Bame with the one-on-one stop.
Looks like we got a flag down here. But again, USA West just playing with that pace. Rapp does a really good job winning it forward, but USA West comes up with it, and they go right to the cage.
Be a 30-second foul against Sweetlax. So a man up will get started.
Looks like
And it's offsides against Sweetlax, so Landon Mack will serve it.
What happens to when you're going to get naturally you're going to get sometimes, especially at the youth ages, you're going to get those offsides calls because the kids that are in the box ready to play, especially off that ground ball by Hunter White, picking it up closer to the attack end.
McCloskey, he had Hardy Packard. His momentum took him below GLE, and that took away his angle, and he stepped in the crease. And Sweetlax looks for a calm clear from Graham Albertson. Both parents were NCAA swimmers, mom an All-American swimmer at Southern Methodist. Now transition chance, and we are now all even. Chance for Sweetlax to get even.
And you could see there in that offensive possession by USA West, Packard, he's playing in the gaps. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. It's just the way that spot feed was thrown. You could see his momentum trying to follow the ball, and that's where you're going to end up running out of angle. You have to kind of put your foot in the ground. But again, that's a tough play to make.
Draw and dump. Outside it comes. Shivitz makes the save. And then the rebound is put in. And we're tied at 7. The rebound put in by Charlie Kibe. He's their lefty finisher.
Rebounds are going to be tough, especially at a young age, but regardless of the age that you're playing at, you get a shot in front of the net. Immediately defensively, you got to have your head on a swivel, but a lot of that can fall sometimes on the goalie being able to communicate. Guys are looking at their guy, not necessarily seeing where they're, again, in relation to the cage on that rebound. So a lot of that's got to come from a little bit of communication on both ends. But the moment the ball gets on the ground in front of the crease, you got to have to clear it because you're going to end up with those opportunities for offensive players to either flick it or get that garbage goal.
Charlie Kibe watches his older brother Johnny, who plays at Yale, going into his senior year. And the Kibes coming through Central New York Power Jamesville DeWitt High School. Reed Lewis, as he tries to sweep right. 7-all. And here is the chance for Sweetlax to take the lead as we near 10 minutes to go. And they do take the lead off of a little stick fake. And then the eventual finish, Tommy Smith for the second time.
You could see the same thing, just bellying through the slide, embracing the physicality by the defenders, taking what the defense is giving you, and capitalizing on that opportunity.
Another physical and aggressive dodge from a Sweetlax player.
Get that look in front of the net. Now let's see what happens here on this faceoff. Let's see if Rapp is going to get back into a rhythm after a couple of losses.
This time it's Roberts who continues facing off. And the win for Sweetlax. Now with the lead, looking for more. He hits the pipe with the shot. And Will Hennihan will find and gather the rebound. It's a 4-goal run in progress for Sweetlax. And it could have been more.
Little pirouette move right there by Roberts. Pretty athletic play. Being able to roll around that approach. Just rang the post.
Timeout USA West and Chris Packard. His team led 7-4 and came out of the halftime flying, picking up goals from Vilic and McCloskey off of a face-off win to start the half, and then the next possession. And now Chris Packard and coach, and who is that wearing the sunglasses in the back? That is the Maryland great, Joe Walters. Yep. What a terrific lefty attackman from Rochester, New York, I believe.
Yep, you are correct. The lefty. The sniper. So you can see him in the back. He's one of the directors for USA West. Was fortunate enough to meet him at the NXT event just briefly in the handshake line, nothing crazy. But again, it's great to see another guy that did so much for the game as a college player and then even in the pro game, just imparting knowledge on the youth of America. This is great. This is what you want to see. You want to see guys like that being involved, helping grow the game. USA West, they're out west. This is the coolest part about this. They're here in Annapolis, Maryland, playing in Navy Marine Corps Stadium. And again, you having somebody that wants to come to an event like this, because I'm sure there's been no shortage of Joe Walters being on the Navy Marine Corps Stadium field, whether he was playing with the Bayhawks or when he was a Terp.
When I think of Joe Walters, I think of incredible shooting percentage, and what he would have loved to have played in the shot clock era and the up-tempo lacrosse era that he eventually played in Major League Lacrosse, but still imagine the numbers he could have put up even more so with the Terps. He was like a lifetime, probably 49% shooter in terms of quality and efficiency.
Yep, that extra man out of the 1-4-1, just an absolute bomber from the outside. And you mentioned it too. Again, you have some of these younger players with the shot clocks. It's interesting to see how certain states are starting to adapt the shot clock at the high school level. But now you have a lot of these different states, like you have the state of New Jersey at the high school level, doesn't play with a shot clock. I think there needs to be a little bit more consistency there. And if you can get that consistency, you're going to see players play a lot faster, and that's what you want. You want to see the game grow because they say it all the time. It's the fastest game on 2 feet. You want to see that related through all the high school play.
Feed, McCloskey hits the pipe with the look. Good feed from Marco Proietti. And the long rebound, and that will get a foul coming up, and this will be against Sweetlax. So USA West is going to get a man up out of this. And it should be a push. And it's going to be a push with possession for 30, or actually it's going to go the other way against USA West for the hit. The shot clock is coming to New York State in the spring of 25 for the first time. The girls will have it the year after, spring of 26, as one of the states that I think is going to try to lead the way. I think there have been some private leagues that have started that, but I think it's going to come pretty quickly. Connecticut is talks of maybe 2028. Certainly New York State is going to be a model for a lot of other states to see how it's implemented. Man up begins for Sweetlax 2030. They have an 8-7 lead, and they have backup here. Final 5 seconds on the man up. Again, it's a continuous clock until we get under 2 minutes left, second half. Sweetlax trailed this game 7-4.
Let's look to the wing. Let's see if they can get an opportunity. But again, like mentioned the shot clock, I think it's really cool that you see some of these non-traditional states that have adapted the shot clock at the high school level. The state of Texas has the shot clock in the high school level, and I think you've noticed a sizable difference.
They run a screen in front, and Camden Meatot is the beneficiary. He gets the pass from behind, and now it's a 2-goal lead for the first time for Sweetlax. Tommy Smith found him.
Yep, and Sweetlax going back to what they've been doing best, especially in the first half, with just off-ball movement. You get somebody being able to initiate just to get their hands free. He's not completely beating his defender, but he's free enough to create a little bit of chaos, a little bit of turbulence on the inside, and you get that nice cut-off ball. Sweetlax can continue this off-ball movement. They're going to continue to capitalize. It looks like that was...
And off the wing, Sweetlax with Henry Hamner. And Hamner is able to maintain possession and his composure. Good work from the pole. Yep. And Sweetlax here in control. 5.5 remaining. And it sure looked like a couple of moments today, Chris Harron, in this 2030 game, where it looked like USA West was going to be able to run away with it and build a sizable lead. And here we are. How has it happened?
They made adjustments, definitely, with USA West off the face-off X. But, again, the adjustments that Sweetlax has made at the face-off X, putting Roberts in there, creating a little bit more tempo, matching the same tempo that USA West has been playing with. And, again, going back to the off-ball opportunities they've been getting. And they're capitalizing on that because they're sharing the lacrosse ball, and they're playing well off-ball. And they're not trying to play fast with errors. They're trying to play with a ability to really focus in on, okay, I'm going to draw a man, I'm going to move it, and if I have an opportunity to find somebody cutting through, I'm going to distribute the ball, but distribute it effectively. And that's what they've gone to, and they've been doing a really good job.
Timeout is taken here by Sweetlax just before they ended up turning it over. So Jack Callahan will organize his team, working with his younger brother Logan. This team has been together since last summer, and they've won every tournament that they've played. And this is their first tournament of the spring/summer season. They won the Naptown Challenge last year as 2031s. And meanwhile, here for USA West and Chris Packard, they have looked like a team, certainly in terms of their identity in playing fast, that can separate, but yet here they are, finding themselves trailing and needing to find a way to take the ball away. Again, there is no shot clock in these games. It'll be a running clock until under 2 minutes, but the officials can put on a 30-second timer if a team does not look like they're interested in shooting or being offensively aggressive, and in a sense, putting on a shot clock or a stall warning.
Yep, and that's where I think, because it's a running clock, obviously coming out of the timeout, it is stopped, but it is a running clock as they're in the middle of gameplay. And if you're Coach Callahan, you're telling your offense, just be smart with the ball. You got a 2-goal lead. You don't need to press for anything, because if they are careless with the lacrosse ball, you do see the tempo of USA West. They are capable of really getting some quick hits there in transition.
Big possession here. Sweeping right is Landon Mack. And Mack, with 3 bodies falling down, he's able to keep possession.
Looks like the refs were letting him play there. Aggressive play on defense. You're going to see that again with USA West.
Again, rising 7th graders, and the bump, Lucas Gilbertson with a well-timed little bump. Didn't try to do too much, and Gilbertson has been an impressive player today for USA West. He causes the turnover, and Patrick Jerry will deal it back to his goalie, Zach Shavitz.
Yep, Gilbertson kind of creating the momentum swing there, too, facing off against Rapp early in the first half, ended up getting the ball off the deck, creating some offensive opportunities for USA West. And again, here they come. Let's see if they can continue this tempo to try to get a chip away at this deficit.
Will Hanahan with under 4 minutes to go. Landon McGowan has the D-mini. Oh, he fakes him out of the way. Then the shot is blocked. Great help from Henry Hamner with his second fine play. Hamner may have gotten a piece of the ball with the body. And Sweetlax transitions. And right down Navy Marine Corps Stadium. And they get a pole goal to separate. It's a 3-goal lead. In transition, they get the push from Miles Kornbaugh.
You got to love a pole goal, especially when you're up by 2. You know you're going to get the green light. Even if the coach is telling you yellow, you're going to take it to the rack, especially when no one's picking you up. And again, really hard shot for the goalie to track is a long pole. You see a lot of these guys who try to shoot the ball sidearm. A really difficult shooting angle is when a long pole is shooting over the top overhand. It's a really high angle, especially going high to low. It's going to be always weird to track for a goaltender, and that was textbook high to low right to that low corner.
Miles Kornbaugh is from upstate New York, Clifton Springs. And a 3-goal lead. It's still part of a 6-goal run for Sweetlax. Big ground ball off the wing from Hunter White. And time to go for USA West. Trailing by 3, 2.5 remaining.
USA West, obviously, it's not going to be, there's no stranger to them playing with pace. They've been playing with pace all day, so they're going to continue to play fast here.
Marco Proietti given the room, and his save is made off the stick by Bame.
It's a healthy look in front of the net. They drew 2, and a nice job being able to recognize that and move it to the low wing for that step down.
As it trickles out to Will Hanahan, down low it comes, and USA West is still alive. They feed it down to the crease, and it's 10-8.
Again, the move it to off the ground. You see the ground ball picked up. In this case, you see an opportunity to continue to move the ball in the same direction that you're running after you pick up that ground ball. You get a really solid off-ball cut, and you're getting those guys napping in front of the cage because they're focused on the ground ball. Then they lose their guy. You still have, if you're the furthest away from the ground ball defensively, you want to be able to still see both. If you can see both, you're not going to be susceptible to those backdoor cuts.
Off the face-off, we apologize. We do not have a number 3 on our rosters. But he has the goal for USA West to make it 10-8, and then a push against Sweetlax. And USA West with it with Will Hennihan.
Could be a potential woe of a youth lacrosse director. You could have had somebody potentially lose their jersey yesterday.
Here's Marco Proietti, one of many things that could have occurred.
Absolutely.
Here's that shot, and fading away on the look is Hudson Ledwith.
Looks like we were trying to see what they're going to call here. Nope. Yep. Okay, we got USA West with a timeout. They're only down by 2. There's still plenty of time. We've seen them play fast, like I mentioned before, how they can come out of the huddle. You know, I have an idea that Coach Walters is probably going to be in this huddle talking to the offense a little bit, giving them a little bit of something for them to potentially get a quick hitter on and get within 1. And then, at this point, the way the faceoffs was going, it's anyone's game.
USA West led 2-0 and 5-3, took a 5-4 lead with them into the half, and still looked like they had chances to truly separate even in the first half. They had a man up and a very long possession, late first half, up 5-3. But Sweetlax got a late goal in the half from Tommy Smith. First 2 goals came quickly of the second half from Vilic and McCloskey. Then it was 7-4. And USA West was playing ultra fast and looked like they would run away with it and have a sizable lead pretty soon. But that wouldn't happen. Instead, the game was completely flipped on its head. A 6-goal run by Sweetlax to take a 10-7 lead. And now it's 10-8. USA West with the ball behind with under 90 seconds left in regulation.
Yep, and don't let the size and the age of these guys fool you. You have to look at the sideline and who's coaching these guys. You're going to see high-level adjustments, and that's the reason why you have high-level play. The organization, both offensively and defensively, with even the 31 teams with the games we called before, you see it here as these kids are getting older, they're getting faster. We're going to see the same thing, I guarantee you, at the 29 age level when we call that game here next. And again, the pace of play by USA West, there's more than enough time with them and how capable they are to be able to play with that pace to see if they can get this within 1.
Flag is out, and USA West is going to get a man up out of this. A 1-minute slash on Longpole Midi TJ Hall. So here's the chance for USA West to get a quick one as we hit 1 minute to go. Proietti down low. It's open off the fake. They get it. Hardy Packard from Proietti. 56 seconds left to go in a 1-goal game.
Yep, and there it is. Plenty of time. Packard's contributed. That's his, I think, his second or third today. It's his second. And there it is again. The pace of play, the quick movement, the off-ball action, and you get a guy like Packard who capitalizes in those off-ball opportunities to be able to attack the pass and finish in front. It's a solid job by USA West. And now here we go, back to the face-off. And I believe they're going to be calling Gilbertson's number again here at the X. I think that might be a pull.
It's definitely Nick Roberts who will face off for Sweetlax. And you're right, Gilbertson with the pole, Roberts. And it'll be decided off the wing. Hennihan had the first crack at it, and it belongs to Sweetlax. 45 seconds left. And they'll try to take it to safety behind and hold through Reed Lewis. Goalie is out of cage.
You had that opportunity with Gilbertson there off the faceoff through a really solid check. That's where if you're going to face off with a pole, you kind of want to be hip to hip sometimes so you can play that 50-50 close to somebody.
And a timeout taken. saving that timeout was Sweetlax coach Jack Callahan with 18.9 left. Again, Sweetlax trying to win every tournament that they've played in since last year.
Yep.
But this one, they've had to really work hard, trailing by their largest deficit by far of this tournament at 3, early second half at 7-4.
Yep, solid timeout there by Coach Callahan. You see some things getting a little bit chaotic. You don't want to end up turning the ball over, especially when you got a guy running towards the top of the restraining box. They turn it over. Again, we saw it all game long with how much tempo USA West has played with. So a really good job calling that timeout, trying to settle everybody down, keeping everybody's cool, making sure they can value the lacrosse ball here with 18 seconds left and run the clock out and potentially come away with a win.
Both coaches out of timeouts. Sweetlax 2030 will have it just inside the box. And we'll see if Coach Chris Packard of USA West will put 2 on the ball immediately.
It looks like they're bringing their best pull in Gilbertson towards the ball. Yep, and there's going to be another double team right there with Jerry.
Bert Summers, speedy midfielder, will start it. Called an elite athlete, a two-handed player. Our officials, 3 officials working these championship games. So Summers will try to take it to safety behind. Patrick Jerry and Gilbertson chases. Gilbertson whacks away. Jerry got the ball free. Still loose with under 10 seconds left. Playing without a stick procedure is called, but it's not going to matter. 6 seconds left. USA West will need a heave. McGowan does so, and that's it. Sweetlax, after trailing by 3 goals early in the second half, they put together a 6-goal run. They take the lead, and then they hang on to capture this Naptown Lacrosse Challenge 2030 final, 10-9 over USA West.
A solid comeback by Sweetlax. You had USA West made their adjustments. USA West was playing fast, but again, Sweetlax made the adjustments at the face-off X. They did a good job controlling the ball offensively. They were matching tempo, but they also did a really good job of pumping the brakes, being a little bit more methodical, looking for guys inside that off-ball opportunities with the cuts, adjusting the offense from attacking from up top to behind, keeping those defenders guessing within USA West, and a really good job and a really good win by them.
Sweetlax continues their tremendous run. They'll go into the month of July having still won every tournament that this group of 2030s has played in, dating back to last year. Tommy Smith, 2 goals and an assist, led the way for Sweetlax 2030, while for USA West, William McCloskey with 3 goals and 2 more for Hardy Packard to lead the way for USA West in a matchup of 2 teams that entered the game 6-0. That'll do it for this 2030 championship game. Sweetlax 2030 ticket from USA West.